If they say when you've met one child with autism, it's very much the same with both my kids, because both of them are very different people, and the journey itself has been very different for both of them.
So we have Prerana and Rachel with us today. Prerana, you've seen her in my previous videos where she's spoken about homeschooling. And Rachel is another parent, and I really look up to her because, her elder daughter was diagnosed with autism. She worked, and she really made a lot of progress. Then she had another child, Raisa, and she too has a diagnosis of autism. So managing the house, managing the kids, managing her mom who was not well. I mean, hats off to her. She's really done lots, and they are here to share their journey with us and their wonderful venture that they are offering to parents, and how can you benefit from it. Yes. So welcome Prerana, welcome Rachel. So Rachel, I think with Arya the journey went well for you, quite smooth. But with Raisa there were a little speed breakers, and I remember there were a lot of sensory issues that you were actually dealing with, with her. I don't know how it is now. We've not been in touch so much. But the schooling was also quite bumpy. So would you share your experience with Raisa, with the school?
Yeah, actually, it's interesting that you started on this note, because I keep telling parents, if they say when you've met one child with autism, it's very much the same with both my kids, because both of them are very different people, and the journey itself has been very different for both of them. So my elder child, there was a very straight, the developmental path was straight. It was different because she was initially diagnosed on the spectrum. As of today, we are not even comfortable saying, because people say, no, this is LD, this is not autism. The younger one, we used to make such amazing progress when we would come back, go in front. So the journey for both of our kids has been very different. And, the learning has been so varied. And it has put me in that place where I can say, that you cannot never really predict entirely. You just have to go with the flow and do what it takes to get your children wherever they need to be.
Right.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, no. I remember, very vividly one time where you mentioned that I have to send her to school. As a person, I know that you're very calm, composed. You really take it very well. I still remember when you were pregnant with Raisa, and I said, how would you manage? And you said, I'll take it one day at a time, one step at a time. I still remember that. So you were very patient, but I still remember one day when you mentioned, yeah, she has to go to school. I've paid for the entire year. I don't know if I want to send her, not send her. Would you tell me a little bit about that? Like, what were the thoughts that were going on at that time?
Zillion thoughts, really. And even now, sometimes there are days when I question, did I take the right step? Did I not? And then I have to remember why I took those decisions, and, pat myself and say, it's okay. Because, it's not easy to make a decision. And at a particular point, you have to realize that only you will understand why you made that decision. Lots of people are going to question you. Why did you pull your child out of school? Why did you start homeschooling? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? It's only when you know and you have considered it and you remember why you did it, and you have to stand by your decision and believe that, what you're doing for your child is something which you have thought through rather, and that is what at that moment felt right, and therefore you have to trust yourself and take it forward from there.
So, how old was Raisa when you decided not to continue the regular schooling?
See, as I said, we had Arya before us, and her progress was very much, lateral. There was no going up, forward, backward kind of thing. So we put Raisa, although we knew that she's going to have some kind of difficulties. The kind of rapport you share with your child, the kind of expectations you develop for your child are very different. So we assumed that's the fact that, I was always convinced that I had very intelligent children. So I always felt that थोड़ा सा intervention लगेगा. and then we move forward. So we actually got her into proper school. And the first year went by, and it was quite difficult because, I don't know whether they realized it or not. It was like we were made to feel responsible for, a child and her not being able to cope in that particular setup. And it was very difficult for us to take it. It's not like
So not able to cope meaning what exactly?
in school they have certain expectations. They have to take a group of kids forward. So they want everybody to fall in line, everybody to do as told. And my daughter was not willing to do that. Okay. I mean, if it was time for lunch, then I felt like taking a walk in the corridor, or I want to walk through the garden and come to school. That place was not allowed in the morning. These rules, which our kids necessarily don't understand. They do what feels right for them, and lots of these things, started. I mean, for a parent, it didn't feel like it was such a big deal. But for the teachers, for the school, it felt like, this child is not listening. This child needs extra attention. Our school is not good enough for this child. That all that started coming in. And although it was not clearly spelled out, we began to feel that we were not very welcome out there, and we probably needed to look at various options. By then, I had met Prerana, and they had formed a very close knit group of parents, and I saw the same difficulties in all the parents in the group. So I really felt that I'll take her out of this school, I'll put her in that school. Then from there, I'll get similar or a little different kind of feedback. But then after a few days, again, I'll have to go hunting. I'm hunting. And with two kids, somewhere in your mind, you're always keeping tab of the finances. आप कहाँ पे कितनी बार एडमिशन फी भरोगे, कितनी बार फी भर के नहीं जाओगे, कितनी बार क्या क्या करोगे, so you always think you have to weigh what can you do and what can't you do. You have this much time, this much finances, and you have one child which you need to educate at the end of the day. So I really felt that we need to take a decision where it would be a more long-lasting decision, something which was meant for her, and which would, actually help to fulfill that particular goal, wherein we needed to. I wanted personally to see my child progress academically. So for lots of people that may be secondary, but I felt, why not do both? Why can't we do both? And that's why we came up with this. Okay, let's do it ourselves. Why to be dependent on somebody else? Even people who were actually, they had employed different external help to train their children. Special educators, or but few of them were really lucky enough to have that particular teacher be with their child for an extended period of time. In fact, sadly, I felt like there were parents who had 3 months. The child takes 2 months to adjust to the teacher. The 1 month you get, and then the teachers, I don't know what happens to the teacher for various reasons. Sometimes genuine, sometimes they get better offers or whatever. And then the child has to start all over again. And I found like, even children who had so many years of the journey, they were still very much at the foundation level. What happened to all the progress that they made? It was not accounted for because there was no continuity. Every time the teacher would come in, they would start with the same slanting line, sleeping line, curved line. And we're like, okay, you need to move on. And that is something probably because the children are not always verbal. They can't communicate. The parent is not in a place where they can insist कि मेरे बच्चे को ये आता है, आप आगे का करो. Because then there are behavioral challenges which come in. The child is not cooperating. The teacher says नहीं आता है. ऐसे लगता है काफी बार. Teachers do feel that the child doesn't know. It's only when they have really got to know the child feels comfortable, that we realize that this kid knows a lot, and we can take the child to a higher level. And we lose out on a lot of time because the continuity is not there. There's so many different schools, different teachers, different special educators coming in. So if there is one person, if you ask me, who's there, who's going to be there, who wants to be there continuously, it's the parent. No person is as willing and as committed to that child as the parent. And therefore, I felt if anybody can do it, we can. You can take what you want.
Was it easy for you to go ahead? I
I'm
mean, how long did it take you to decide that? To get her, to pull her out of the school?
I had a lot of inputs from lots of people, so I did not have to go to the learning curve कि ये स्कूल भी यही करता है, वेलकम करता है, बाद में ये स्कूल भी यही करता. So I got that kind of feedback, कि it's happening not just to me. Lots of parents with special kids go through this. They're made to feel, it's not just about the child not being, when the parent goes through a lot of trauma, a lot of stress, just trying to figure out what is best for the child. And we had this benefit of really kind of understanding, getting the input from various people. And we said, I don't want to go through this. I don't want to go, So, yeah, it was that 1 year wherein we kind of played around with the idea. We got a few friends who said, okay, fine, this is what makes sense, doing it together. I got Prerana, more importantly. And we said, okay, if what we are really worried about is falling back or going astray, then we have each other to tell ourselves, listen, we're here to do this, let's do it. So that was a big a changing point for me, to find somebody who said, chalo, hum log apna school करते हैं. We don't have to be, we don't have to go somewhere out there. We have it in us. And, together it's always better. There are times in your journey where you doubt yourself. Then, then your friend comes and says, no, you're the one.
Right. So how old was Raisa when you pulled her out of the school? And which grade was she in?
We got into trouble in nursery. So मुश्किल से KG class थोड़ा बहुत हो गया, and then it got really difficult. I felt like I was being called to the principal's office कि आपने ये नहीं किया, वो नहीं किया, कैसे नहीं किया, बच्चा क्यों लेट आ रहा है, क्यों नहीं हो रहा, that kind of thing. And even things which normally we would pass off like बच्चा है करके, it came very much into focus because she was a special child. So that was something which said I had to say this can't go on. I mean, as much as I love my child and I want her to be educated, I did feel that in this way my child is not going to benefit. I can't send her to a place where she's not welcome. That was also very important. I cannot forcefully, like people said, you have to fight it out. She has a right to be in school. She has the right to be in school, but I was not comfortable sending her to a place where she was not welcome. Okay, where she was. It's obvious, they feel that way about her. Kahin na kahin, she will hear that. She will sense it. And our children are extremely intelligent. So, that early morning struggle to get into the uniform and push her, and it was too much for me, and definitely it was too much for her. I didn't want to, continue that for the next 10, 12 years of my life.
How old is Raisa now?
She's 11.
11. How old is Tanav now?
12.
Huh?
12.
12. So, Prerana, how was your journey with the school? I mean, when did you pull out Tanav and when did you make a decision?
Yeah, so Tanav is 1 year older to Raisa. We kind of, and my journey is a little different than this. Because with Tanav, he's saying, he'll do it. But I felt that, his previous school was Montessori, where also we had a lot of sleep issues back then. So we used to miss out on school days a lot. But then the school was very, very, very supportive. The school was very accommodating, and the principal was brilliant. She supported me like no other. But then that was still kindergarten, and I thought, abhi first ke liye dekhna hai school. And I heard many parents giving me reviews about other schools. I spoke to a few schools, and they're like, we need a shadow. Then he'll be in class for this many hours. Otherwise, he'll be in the resource room or somewhere else, or one-on-one with the shadow teacher. And I said, will sending Tanav to school for 4-5 hours be useful for him? So that was my take on homeschooling. Also because I always saw myself advocating for Tanav कि नहीं उसको ये आता है. Everyone अच्छा उसको ये अच्छा इसको नहीं आता, ABCD कर लेता है. Tanav reads, he's an hyperlexic child. He reads very well. But I found myself saying this to every teacher, everyone who is educating him. I felt I was educating them about him. So that was like, and I thought that he learned better with me because I understood him better. I gave him his space, and I know what style of learning he likes. So we always went with that. I think it was more easier also for me. I did not have that key. And I always felt the school system was little hyped anyways. So that is my personal view. But I felt that his happiness and his calmness were more important to me. पढ़ाई तो वो कर लेगा, वो तो educate, I'll educate him anyways. So
when you met both of you and you decided homeschooling, so what did you do? You started homeschooling, meaning what did you do exactly?
So homeschooling did not start overnight. First, we used to do play days together, and we used to meet every day, every evening, because our kids they wanted to play, but then they did not know how to play, and then we planned activities for them, and we were like a group of parents who did that. So our bonding grew more than us. So, yeah. And then when we felt this need of schooling and we were not getting the right school, or we felt the system was not right for them, then I think we just spoke and we said, we can do it together. Like that. First, we started off with, let's prepare them for school.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can prepare them to sit for longer hours, make the concept so clear that they can communicate better in school. So first we started off with that, but later we realized homeschooling is better than the regular school.
So for how many months or years did you do the play dates? And was that regular? How did you achieve? How did you
regular.
That consistent, like what motivated you? Because there must have been days ki theek hai, let's not do it today. Did that happen?
Yeah, there used to be days, but as I said, because our bond was so strong, that motivation was more. So that, and we almost did regular in the end.
Yeah, we were very, very diligent about that, and it got us, we had that motivation. Okay, कि चलो ये करते हैं, चलो वो करते हैं, and we started enjoying that very much. We were not passive teachers. We didn't like just open book and say चलो आज ये करते हैं, ये पढ़ो लिखो. नहीं, we went, we like really got very creative about all the things we do, and we started enjoying that journey. And I think that's what kept us in it together. We started planning, चलो ऐसा भी कर सकते हैं, ये garden में जाके we can show them parts of a plant, and it went on, and everything was about और क्या नया कर सकते हैं. And the journey itself was so interesting for us, that it became it was not forced at all. Nobody needed to set an alarm for us. Nobody needed to say, okay, chalo aaj karna hai, aaj leke jana hai. It was the motivation in itself. We were very work. It was more of play and fun. And when we say that learn to enjoy what they're doing, it was reflected in us. We were having fun.
And were the kids having fun and learning too?
Definitely. I still remember there were concepts which I was like, and we did what is that? The life cycle of a butterfly. And my 4.5 kid who hardly even says, come mama, go mama, says Christmas. And I'm like, okay, so it's all going inside. Okay, so we would get these little, just when we were beginning to doubt ourselves, our kids would give us the tiny rays of hope, which convinced us that what we were doing was actually good, and they were making progress. And slowly, maybe not at the pace which they might have been expected to go at school, but then the reading, the writing, the mathematics started falling in place. And then we realized, if we do things diligently, that's all that is required. And they will get there wherever they need to go. So
also, so taking the example of life cycle of butterfly. So we not only did projects so we made flashcards and we made sheets. We not only did that, we went to a butterfly park. We saw the process. So we did all that. So each concept was like generalized and picnic and outings.
And then
went into this garden and there were sprinklers and everybody was running through the sprinklers. Like, it was literally butterflies coming alive. So, everything about it was very much real. It was not just, we opening a book and reading out to them. It became we were painting butterflies, we were singing about butterflies, we were looking at going to gardens where we could actually see the butterflies. There was a lot of, if we say multi-pronged approach or multi-sensory approach, we were thoroughly enjoying it.
So how long did the two of you continue and how did people start joining you? Before you go, I wanted to help you to help your child improve faster. Here are 4 things that you can do. 1, you can subscribe to my channel so that whatever tips, strategies, insights, whatever I share, they come to you as notifications into your inbox and you are updated on a weekly basis. 2, you can buy my book, Looking Beyond Labels, Becoming a Mindful Parent. It is available on Amazon. It's a guidebook. It will guide you on really how to help you to help your child better. 3, I've done a lot of master classes which are all available as recordings on my website khushi.net.in/online-events. You will be able to refer to a lot of courses related to sleep, toilet and potty training, sensory diet, oral motor challenges, emotional wellness, and so many of those. And then number 4 would be we can meet and I can guide you. We can meet weekly. I meet parents weekly for some of my courses, which you can find on khushi.net.in/events. And we can meet weekly. You get to ask me your questions. I share what to do, how to help, and it's all done in a group setup. It's an amazing deep dive trying to understand your child. And I'm sure it transforms your perspective. It transforms the way you work with your child. And these are the 4 things that I feel would really help you. Thank you.